Good morning. So why did I vote Josh Allen for MVP and Lamar Jackson first team All-Pro? That doesn't make sense. Well, actually, it's simple. I asked the head of the AP, hey, how do you categorize who you're supposed to vote for? What are the actual qualifications? He said, most valuable players based on value.
The voters for the NFL MVP are cowards.
Reset TV was happening. It's gravitating away, and there's some stuff happening right now with the NFL, y'all. And I could easily point out to the so-called allegation that referee and the NFL as a whole are basically giving Patrick Mahomes a piggyback to another Super Bowl. I mean, I'm not one that cares about these things personally, but when you are watching the game, even if you watch highlights, sometimes you see Patrick is favored on certain calls that shouldn't go his way. But I digress. I was watching an article, reading rather, right, from the New York Post of all places, and I try not to read that liberal website. But of course, y'all know Josh Allen just won MVP, strangely. And although it might seem close, hang a while. We got to break this one down. And look, I'm not somebody that wants to bring up race, right? But when there is a legitimate concern on at least bias at the least, right? When there's a concern about bias, it got to be called out. Look, Lamar got 2. This is Josh first. I thought the deal was sealed when Lamar was voted for All-Pro, but I guess not. And that's what makes this MVP strange. Before y'all kill me in the comment section, you know, I just want to reiterate this again, man. Josh Allen winning the MVP over Lamar Jackson is egregious because of several different points. Forget the fact that even Josh Allen knows it himself. I love the Dolphins, right? I'm a South Floridian, but we play in an easy division.
I mean, look, I voted for Lamar. The votes are public. We were split on this show. It was a dead heat. It was extremely close. The only wrong take on MVP is that it was obvious between these two. It was not obvious, and it went down to the wire. I will say the reason why I voted for Lamar really quickly. 4,000 passing yards, 900 rushing yards, first quarterback to ever do that. Almost broke the record for passer rating, played a harder slate of defenses, and then in their head-to-head matchup came out on top. So that was the difference for me. I know with Bills, you know, people point to Allen being more valuable maybe because the pieces around him. I do think people underrate how good that offensive line is. That was another thing I took into consideration. But like I said, this was very close. I mean, look, I voted for Lamar. The votes are public. We were split on this.
The Bills had an easy division. You're playing against the chaotic Patriots, chaotic Dolphins, the worthless Jets. I mean, can we just keep it a buck? The Bills have one of the top 5 O-lines in football, y'all, for several years now, by the way. But we're gonna touch on all the points on why this is egregious. Race, yes, although I do think there's an element, it's so many other reasons that you can point out, leaving you to the conclusion that it's effed up, y'all. It's straight up messed up. I mean, there's the typical Coonerians, as my guy Afro Think Tank would say. There's a couple of Coonerians that, you know, all sport leagues always rely on to substantiate and justify the reason why your favorite black guy didn't get his award. And several of them are Rob Parker, who I like here and there, but he does the typical bidding for the powers that be.
The voters for the NFL MVP are cowards. There's no other way of looking at it. On Thursday, it was announced at the NFL honors that Josh Allen from the Buffalo Bills was named the MVP over Lamar Jackson. That's fine. I respect the voters' votes and their opinions. This isn't math. I get it. But it makes no sense that the same voters voted Lamar Jackson overwhelmingly as the All-Pro first-team quarterback. The last 11 All-Pro first-team quarterbacks were named MVP. You can't split the baby. It makes no sense. You can't say one guy is All-Pro first-team quarterback and the other guy is MVP. It stinks. It lacks credibility. It's illogical. It makes no sense. They're cowards. They knew that they couldn't give Josh Allen both awards without scrutiny. Right? So if Josh Allen was the MVP, he should have been first team All-Pro quarterback. And that's the end of it. He should have won both awards. Or Lamar should have won both awards. Man, this is where people make the biggest mistake. Do what's right. Be honest. You can't pacify everybody and satisfy everybody. This is a blunder by the voters. I'm a Baseball Hall of Fame voter. I take it very seriously. Everyone has a right to their opinion. But this splitting a vote and giving awards to two different people for basically the same category is nonsense. The voters for the NFL.
No surprise. You got, before I say Emmanuel Ocho, it was, what's his face? Damn, I'm so sorry. I'm trying to, damn, I forgot dude's name, but yeah, they got a couple of people doing their bidding, right? They're trying to justify why this guy got it over your favorite black guy. And I remember the dude's name, Booger McFarland. You know, Booger is the typical, I want to join the club so bad. And I promise y'all, if you ever check out my channel, I don't really push race, other than I do think black folks in our community should be, you know, building ourselves up. That's why my channel is called Reset TV. We got to take it back to ground zero, y'all, the blueprint, and start this over again the way our people did in Reconstruction here in America and several other places in the world. But my point is, you always get these Canarians that do the biddings to justify a fleece like Jackson not getting this award. I mean, you had more whites defending Jackson before some of these Canarians, but the biggest raccoon of them all, Emmanuel Ocho.
Good morning. So why did I vote Josh Allen for MVP and Lamar Jackson first team All-Pro? That doesn't make sense. Well, actually, it's simple. I asked the head of the AP, hey, how do you categorize who you're supposed to vote for? What are the actual qualifications? He said, most valuable players based on value. First team All-Pro is based on who had the best season. It's not at all semantics. It's actually taking the definition and the award voting seriously. It's not the best damn dude award. I saw my dog Dominique Foxworth say that on ESPN. It's not who had the best season. It's who was the most valuable player. It's not semantics. It's taking a definition literally. Value is based upon value. As I assess it, the value to your team based upon who you're playing with and who you're playing against. Now, Lamar Jackson, absolutely phenomenal. It goes without saying. I don't need to couch my take by bragging about how good Lamar Jackson is. He is great. But Josh Allen, I believe, was more valuable to the league and more valuable to his team based upon the players he was playing with and the teams he was playing against. How did I deduce my vote? I just literally rewatched the games, starting with the Josh Allen playing Lamar Jackson, where Lamar Jackson did his thing. Josh Allen obviously didn't have a ton of players help him out, and Josh Allen got outplayed by Lamar. It helps when Derrick Henry has an 87-yard touchdown on like the first or second, third play of the game. With that being said, both had incredible seasons, but please understand, most valuable player does not go to the best player. I don't care if everybody else has gotten it wrong. I asked. Most valuable player does not go to the best damn dude. I asked. Most valuable player, it goes to the most valuable player. All-Pro, it goes to the best. Don't fault dudes for actually doing the due diligence and taking things literally. Now, if you think Lamar Jackson is the most valuable player, then that's perfectly fine too. But don't vote him for MVP because you thought he was the best or the best damn dude. If you think he's the most valuable, then he's the most valuable. I thought Josh was. Simple as that.
Damn, son. You give, you know, descendants from black immigrants such a bad name, bro. It's guys like you that make it hard for people like me, bro, whose parents were not born in this country, but did come here very young. But still, my folks weren't born in this country. I'm first generation. You know, guys like Emmanuel Ocho give us a bad name, man. He gives us a bad name. That boy is a bootlicker, y'all. Straight up. Straight up. He voted for Josh Allen, and it's like, I don't care that he voted for Josh Allen because I'm not surprised a guy like that would do that, even with all the evidence in front of his face. But this Cunarian, this raccoon, this bootlicker had the nerve to post letting us know, yeah, I voted for Josh Allen. He didn't have to say that. He made sure he said it with his chest out, right? But he's trying to make a joke about it, and he goes, let's do a quick check on my DMs after Ravens fans found out I voted for Josh Allen over Lamar Jackson for MVP. And it's like, dude, like, come on, bro. It's a little deeper than that, bro. It's not just Ravens fans, bro. Bro, I don't think you know who you are, cuz. You don't even really know who you are. And like this person said here, you're such a B word trying to label an entire fan base. Like, bro, I know you support DEI, but it's just an irony when it's a white guy, bro. Like, that is funny as hell. I'm sorry. Somebody says, why would you try to villainize an entire fan base over 4 screenshots? You know you receive this type of ish every day from trolls. I mean, the fans are letting them have it. Y'all doing y'all job. And again, it's not really about race when I'm talking about people that feel that Lamar Jackson should have been MVP. You got a lot of white people clearly see the switcheroo happen. They're calling it out. This guy over here, thank you, AD, says, now show us the ones that are flaming you about joy. Exactly. I noticed how he been pushing that up under the rug. John Berger says the Bills would have won the division with the Jets, Patriots, and Dolphins if Josh Allen didn't start. Facts. That's what I'm telling y'all. The Bills would have won against a rookie quarterback in the wild card without Josh, and the Bills would have won in division. What he means in the divisional. Ravens had 3-2. I don't see the value. I don't either. Very weak conference. Far less important stats than Jackson, because I remember when Jackson was running like 12 touchdowns the way Josh did, and a lot of folks, the good old boys up there, crucified him, saying that's not their type of guy. Now that, you know, you got white boys running all over the field, oh, it's amazing. Oh, that guy right there, oh my God, he's so unique. Yeah, I know. When for black folks, it used to be a stigma for so many decades. But I'm not making, you know, that a big deal, because let's be honest, there's a lot of black quarterbacks starting. So that's not my, you know, angle that I'm shooting here. I'm just showing you how, like, to justify these things, they always go for the bootlickers to do it. Rob Parker, I'm ashamed of you, bro. You know, because I still expect you to be balanced, but over the last couple of years, you're clearly leaning for the big dogs. You're clearly doing that, you know. But hey, man, I want you guys to check out the other points that I'm trying to say. And surprisingly, once again, it's the New York Post pointing it out, which they never do. Let's go through this article by the New York Post, and then you can give your opinions. Now, the article is titled "The Strange Part About Josh Allen Winning MVP." It continues, Josh Allen won the MVP award against all odds. And I'm laughing at that point because they're pointing it out. I mean, literally against all odds. After we read through this, the Bills star signal caller took home the hardware on the thinnest of margins on Thursday, and in an award night surprise, as Allen was not on the All-Pro first team, an honor that was bestowed upon MVP runner-up Lamar Jackson. Before we continue, just check that out for a second. Lamar made All-Pro first team. Let that sink in. Made All-Pro first team. Josh Allen did not make All-Pro first team, but yet won the MVP. Huh? The same 50 voters, by the way, this is where it becomes more strange. The same 50 voters decided on the two honors, meaning all 50 voters decide who's NFL first team and who's MVP. So here's where it gets tricky. How can we have the same set of voters, right, vote for one quarterback first team and the other does not make first team, being Josh Allen, but yet he wins MVP? So again, the article continues. Allen becomes just the third player in NFL history to win the MVP award, despite not being an All-Pro first teamer. And this is the first time that has happened in 21 years. Let that sink in, y'all. The only other 2 times in history this occurred was by quarterback John Elway in 87 and Titans quarterback Steve McNair in 03. RIP, by the way, man. The air up there, yo. But as we're looking over here, right? Before we continue with the article, there's a Twitter post by Rob Maddie, right? And it says AP NFL most valuable player voting. Josh came in first, thin margin, of course. Lamar second, Saquon third. And you know, Saquon could have made an argument. He had an exciting year for a running back. But, you know, we all know this is mostly a quarterback's award. Let's keep it a buck. But it says Jackson received 31st team All-Pro votes. So out of the 50, Jackson received 31st team All-Pro votes, while Allen received 18. That was announced back in January 10th and put him, Jackson, that is, in the driver's seat to win the award. And I remember when this was announced. I remember back in January 10th, I was like, okay, Jackson made All-Pro first team, Allen did not. Clearly, he's the MVP. And I know some people will have this question. Well, maybe they wanted to wait after the playoffs because the Bills narrowly escaped beating the Ravens. Keep in mind, the NFL for many decades has pushed the notion that the MVP award is about the regular season, even though I never believed that. As long as that vote comes during and after the playoff, it's always going to be influenced. But leave it to them. They're saying the MVP vote is about the regular season. Well, that's confusing because regular season honors for first pro all team was Jackson, right? Jackson won that. Allen didn't. So how do you make sense out of all that? Again, the same voters then turn around and gave Allen 27 first place votes for MVP, while Jackson received 3. So despite what all of us think, I just want to point out that if you're a logical thinking person, right, your rationale should come up with the conclusion that at the very least, no matter who you wanted to be the MVP, at the very least, the NFL clearly is confused with their voters, because the same voters that only voted for Allen for first team honors voted at 18. The same set of voters then voted him 27 first place votes for MVP, which fuels my notion that the playoffs influences the MVP vote. This is not about whether it's right or wrong, right? Because I could see that, right? I'm willing to say you could throw in the playoffs as a part of the MVP voting. But if you're telling me it's just about the regular season, it's clear as day Jackson should have won the MVP. Former NFL quarterback and Sirius XM host Jim Miller inexplicably gave Jackson a 4th place MVP vote as the Ravens star finishes with 362 points, 21 points of Allen, short of Allen's 383. And Jim Miller, if y'all know him, I'm gonna call it out, right? I'm gonna just call it out. Jim Miller, like a lot of guys with his complexion, are not the biggest fans of quote unquote running quarterbacks like a Lamar Jackson. He never liked Lamar. Since being drafted, he cheerleaded the notion that Lamar should have converted to a wide receiver. So I'm not surprised this idiot, you feel me, thought Lamar should come in as a 4th place MVP, right? Like, that's just ridiculous. But we'll move on from that fool, because you know what you could paint him as. Like, if you know Jim Miller, forget the jokes, right? Forget how funny he can be. You know how he feels about quarterbacks that look like Lamar Jackson. Now, Lamar Jackson received 31st place All-Pro votes to Josh Allen's 18 per the AP, meaning Jackson is now the clear front runner for his 3rd NFL MVP. NFL reporter Tom Pelissero posted on his X account on January 10th. I thought so too. But of course, that would not come to fruition as Allen celebrated his big victory for the Bills. It would appear that the news leaked in some capacity as online trading futures trading market, Polymarket, saw Allen's MVP likelihood move from 53% to 94% in the hours leading up to the award ceremony. Folks, once gambling is involved, without question, even more than the playoff game where the Bills beat the Ravens, where there is gambling involved, you better believe certain odds are tipped. My fellow gamblers, you know what's up. Y'all know what's going on, man. Y'all know what's going on. You think it's an accident that the NFL pushes the notion, and I know I say that word a lot, but I'm just saying, the NFL pushes the idea, right, that a Patrick Mahomes Super Bowl generates ratings. So it fuels further, right, the idea that the NFL, i.e. referees, they're all in bed together, are helping Patrick Mahomes. It doesn't matter if I think that's true or not. I can easily see why people are thinking about this. And all of this, I'm going to make a point about it, by the way. But over 182 million in volume was bet on this market about who was going to be the MVP, but guys, pointing to some insider trading happening in this market. Duh. I mean, if that happens with the stock market, come on, man. Y'all remember Enron back in the days? Those of you that are old enough to remember, insider trading is like the biggest thing, yo. Like, come on. Statistically, Jackson, who has won the award twice before, and he had to fight for those, by the way, had Allen beat in passing yards. Let me take my time with this. Jackson, who has won the award twice before, had Allen beat in passing yards, touchdowns, less interceptions, and had nearly 1,000 yards compared to Allen's 500 yards rushing. Although Bills did have a slightly more team success, and we could stop here. Slightly more team success. You mean the one more game that they won than the Ravens? Wow. Jackson threw for 4,172 yards and 41 touchdowns. We got to say that again because this is a joke, y'all. And I promise you, I don't want to push nothing about race because it might be a little deeper than just race, even though I think race does play a part of it. But it's almost like because of the whole gambling thing, you got to weigh that in as well. But Jackson threw for 4,172 yards, and here's the kicker, 41 touchdowns with just 4 interceptions while running for 915 yards and 4 touchdowns. Allen put up strong numbers as well, right? In his own right, throwing for 3,731 yards, 28 touchdowns, 6 interceptions, 531 yards rushing. You could definitely see an influence in the 12 rushing touchdowns. That ain't, nothing light. Let's keep it real. That ain't nothing slight, y'all. But when you're looking at a quarterback, you're not gonna tell me that Josh Allen's 12 rushing touchdowns, it's so impressive when y'all the same ones that wanted Lamar Jackson's to convert to a damn wide receiver, because let's be honest, the good old boys don't like seeing running quarterbacks. Now it's popularized, right? And I'm gonna keep it a buck. If you're a white boy that can throw a little but definitely can move around there, they idolize you now. Damn near they glorify you, they praise you. But with the brothers, it was like a stigma. It was a downfall from not even getting an opportunity to properly compete for a starting spot. So what I'm saying is, if the good old boys been pushing the narrative for so long that there are certain statistics that should be notable and attached to a quarterback, like passing yards, the amount of interceptions you throw, and definitely touchdown passes, well, Jackson has Allen beat by a mile. So I don't want to get you guys all riled up, right? Especially about race when it's clear as day. I'm always preaching about being emotionally disciplined. emotionally disciplined. But again, a part of that, guys, if you're a diehard sport fan, you need to join my my little team here of not giving so much energy to Caesar's game, y'all. This is Caesar's game, i.e. entertainment. None of it has to be true. None of it has to be legitimate. As long as there's a big pocket of people out there that's helping the NFL generate money and all that's attached to it, whether it's the sponsors, gambling, etc., sponsor, all that stuff. I used to have a passion for these sporting events, right? Basketball, football, even baseball. I'm definitely a big soccer fan, and even that was compromised so many different times. But my point is saying this: don't get riled up. We got a Super Bowl coming up in February. I wouldn't be surprised the Chiefs win again. I'm just being honest with you. I wouldn't be surprised the Chiefs win again. But I will say this: don't lose your minds over it. Sometimes take a back seat. Take a back seat, y'all. The best way you can hurt these folks, which I see a lot of y'all won't do when I say this, I'm not talking about a silent protest. I mean, just dial it back a little. Stop giving these sporting, right, leagues all of your attention. Take it a step back. The NBA is already taking a hit with viewership. Like, let them take a hit, y'all. Don't let your topic of the day be about sports rather than social things that are going on, right? Or more important aspects of your life that's going on. Don't let sports become your main thing. This is why on this channel I barely talk about it. But I think this particular topic crossed over into certain categories that, hey man, we gotta touch upon it. We gotta call it out. So that's my main thing for y'all, man. It does suck that it's clear as day there's a race element to this. There's a legal gambling issue element to this. You could call it even a DEI issue, right? Where my MAGA fans out there, wouldn't you easily say that Josh Allen could be claimed as a DEI award winner? I mean, think about it again. I push the fact that y'all tell us the MVP award is specifically about the regular season. If that was so, Lamar Jackson, was voted by 30 voters out of 50 for All-Pro First Team. Josh Allen didn't make the All-Pro First Team. In fact, he only received 18 votes. But then the same 50 voters who voted gave him the MVP award. Look, man, sports is rigged at every level. Sports will never be an equal playing field for nobody. So I'm begging y'all, let's focus on the things we gotta catch up, especially my black people. It ain't a thing for us to get all deep and aroused emotionally about sports and particular topics and who we like and all that stuff. I'm actually begging y'all, man, like, leave this stuff alone. It's a joke. I don't feel that sorry for the players because they're paid. I actually think it's more pathetic for the fans that still believe in this stuff. Like, real talk, how many of y'all really sit there and watch an entire NFL game or an entire NBA game? Let's keep it a buck. It would have to be like a big game for you to sit there and watch it. And even then, I'm barely really watching it. Like, I pick and choose my parts on what I really want to pay attention to. Man, this is sad, y'all. This is sad. Meanwhile, Mahomes can get all the accolades. I know he's allegedly a black man. I'm gonna stop playing. He's black. His daddy black, y'all. Famous baseball player. His daddy black. I'm gonna keep it real, but I get it though. I get about, his complexion, the optics. I understand. It's almost like the Obama effect. We could get one of him in there. Wink, wink. You ain't gonna get a Jesse Jackson, but you can get an Obama in there. Y'all know where I'm going with this. You can get a Kamala Harris in there. Y'all know where I'm going with this. My blacks from the mud, the game ain't really there for you. And in their minds, we gave Lamar 2 already. That's enough. We can't have you being there, become like a a figure that's idolized to the point where you're a legend. He's already a legend in my eyes, not just because, you know, we come from the same county here in Broward. I remember him playing for the Pompano Eagles, Little League football. It's not just that. It's almost like they restrict certain ceilings, right, for black quarterbacks, black players in general. But man, there were other elements other than just race with this MVP voting. Guys, leave sports alone, man. I'm gonna be honest with y'all. Leave sports alone, man. If there's a particular topic that crosses over in the threshold that is of life, I'll talk about it. But when it's just dealing with the game, man, y'all can have it, man. How y'all feel about this entire matter, man? If you're new to my channel and like anything I said, listen, man, do me a favor. Y'all know it's hard out here, but Spike Lee that joint and do the right thing, man. Like, share, comment, subscribe. I definitely could use y'all help. I'm humbled. I don't ask for money or anything, just y'all attention span, and hopefully y'all keep coming back. But definitely I want to meet y'all in that comment section. Let me know how y'all feel about Lamar Jackson obviously getting fleeced for that MVP award. And what do y'all think about a last minute, you know, seemingly change of votes by those 50 voters and gambling being involved so deeply in who wins the MVP award? Let me know how y'all think about all of that, and I'm gonna meet y'all there. This was Gravitating Away on Reset TV, and I would like to thank any of y'all that made it this far. You the real MVP, and I'm gonna holla at you.